Hello.
Oh, hello from Colombia.
And hello from Japan. Good to
Oh my
see
goodness.
everyone.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm so happy we can talk again. It's been quite a while.
Oh,
One
I
of
just clicked onto the comments. I didn't realize there were so many comments already in the chat. I
Oh
was
yeah,
in the
it's
private
me.
chat
It's me.
section. Oh, okay.
It's me and Rick.
Good day, Rick.
Quack, 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 quack.
Quack
So
quack.
what I wanted to do is, like I said, before we started, I found some questions, but I wanted the chat to also answer them. So I hope we can do that. I want to hear their answers because it's
Ooh,
not. And if people have questions, of course they can ask them. So let's pop up the first question. I mean,
okay.
this is not so
Oh,
exciting,
straight into
but
it.
yeah, straight into it. We're
Awesome.
not goofing around here.
Awesome.
Here's the first question, everybody. Have you eaten raw meat?
Have you
Have
eaten
you
raw meat? Ooh,
have
yes.
Oh wow, what
Uh,
was it?
uh, raw fish, raw horse, raw chicken.
Raw horse. Ew.
Yeah.
Was it you or was
Oh.
it fine?
It was a long time ago, but, I remember going, "Oh, that's a bit chewy."
Oh, look who showed up.
Okay.
Can you
Can
hear
you
I
hear
us?
got to make
us?
sure I'm having some technical. I can hear you guys now. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Oh
I'm
wow.
sorry, man. I just have one thing after another happening. It's just been one of those insanities for the last few
Mm,
months.
I understand. But we'll have some fun
Yeah.
today. So we're asking the question.
Yeah.
I start put people's answers up. But have you eaten raw meat?
I have. Yeah. A few times. Just, maybe sometimes it's seared lightly on the outside, but it's still cold and raw.
Ooh,
But I like it like that.
there you go. I like a
It's good.
steak kind of like that, but I don't like it cold. But I have eaten it when my restaurant brought it to me that way.
I th I
Yeah.
think the temperature thing would put me off as well. I think I'd be a bit
Yeah,
put off by the coldness. Oh.
yeah, exactly. Well, Karen, a lot of people are saying hi, by the way. Hi, Dave and everyone.
Hey,
We see you
Susan.
guys. I'm trying to put up all the comments. I've eaten a raw egg. My husband directed me on a YouTube short we did a couple weeks ago, and in the short, I ate a raw oyster also.
Ooh,
I
how
was
was
short.
that?
It didn't taste so bad. It tasted kind of like seawater, but it was like very chewy. And my uncle is in the background, and he's like, "Swallow it." So in this YouTube video, I have like juice of an oyster like going down my cheek, and then you just hear swallow
Ah,
it in the background.
So is
And
my sound a little crackly when I talk?
yeah,
Is it a
yeah.
little off?
yeah.
Is it annoyingly bad?
It
No, it's okay.
we can
Okay.
hear you
Well, I'll have it fixed
okay.
next time.
All right, no worries.
I
At
don't
least you
know.
don't sound like you're in outer space or a robot. Brooke says raw oysters are awesome. I believe her. I might try it again.
Mm,
Let's see. If
yeah,
I
I
missed any
had
of your comments, I'm sorry,
one raw
everybody.
oyster. I someone got me to have an oyster shooter in Hong Kong one day. So it was like this, I don't know, it was tequila or something, tequila
Yeah.
shooter with an oyster on top. And it was, you had to like neck the oyster and then do the shooter. And it was just the worst experience. I've never eaten an oyster since.
No. Oh, I wonder if it was because I had alcohol with it.
Mm. Yeah,
I
it's a
don't know.
drunk oyster.
Drunk oyster.
I don't like shellfish. I don't like any kind of like shellfish or clams.
No.
uh,
Uh,
mm.
No.
Rick is giving us some good advice here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Like if it's still walking and quacking, definitely avoid it.
All right. Okay. So Marcos Labrador, 540 what's this mean? 540 from 540 from 568. That's good. Having trouble knowing how much to eat. I do between 1,300 and 2,200, I guess, calories, depending on hunger. Can't stand suet or plain butter. What's your opinions? I would say knowing how much to eat till you're hungry. You're not hungry anymore. Eat till you're fully satiated and don't eat more than that, or maybe just eat slightly more than that.
Yeah.
Bacon and pork belly. That's what that's my fallback. Bacon and pork belly.
Yeah. Yeah. Bacon's a good one because you can you could constantly snack on that throughout the day, right?
Oh yeah, you could.
Yeah. So you can get the, you can get the kind of, the volume of food up that way if the volume's not enough, right?
Sure. And like surprisingly, pork belly is super fatty, and you can eat a little amount really fast, and you have to like pace yourself because you'll be so nauseated if you eat too much. So if you could just get the right amount in, you'll get a lot of fat down with that. It's easy. You can cook it. How do I cook it? I did a video about it. You can
I would ask how long they've been at it, because it'll come with time too. If you know what I mean, if you've only been at it like a month, you'll get more used to where your body wants to, you know what I mean, stop. And you'll find out if you want to do 2 meals a day or more. So it's also that, I shouldn't say it's a learned experience, but it kind of is. You know, you'll learn along the way, and it'll change. For that whole first year, I think all of us went through change of how much we did from the first 3 months, then the next 3 months, then the next 3 months.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You're doing good on the fact that you're just going to eat till you're satiated and eat when you're hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Amanda's violin adventures. I doubt I will be eating raw meat. When I was very young, I can remember stealing some bacon raw from the fridge and ate it. It wasn't really raw. Well, that's good. I ate some not really raw bacon, but kind of raw bacon when I was in Wisconsin for a meetup a couple weeks ago. It was smoked. Does that make sense? That it wasn't fried yet, but it was apparently smoked for hours. And I thought it was delicious. I'm like, anyone else want this? They're like, nope.
Oh, wow.
It tasted like butter, like smoked butter. Okay, here we go. Trying to get my wife.
Raw chicken might be another thing.
Ooh, don't do raw chicken. We're all gonna be sick with E. coli.
No.
You know what raw chicken tastes like?
What?
Tastes like canned tuna.
Oh, okay.
Does it?
Maybe
it's
in
really
Japan.
weird. It's really weird taste. Yeah.
Unless
it was fake raw chicken made out of canned tuna.
Tuna. It is the chicken of the sea.
That's interesting.
Good one.
That's what
true.
they don't call it. They don't call canned tuna in Japan. They call it sea chicken.
There you
That's
go.
funny.
Or more accurately, she chicken.
Chicken.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Tried to get my wife to go carnivore, but she struggles with fat. Any suggestions? How does she struggle? Like she can't eat it, or she just has bad opinions about it? That's my question. And I always go back to bacon and eggs. Can't go wrong. Bacon, eggs, and butter.
I think I used to be really averse to fat as well. I think the best thing for getting over a fat aversion is to like crisp it up as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Like you made me think of that when you said bacon, because you can make the bacon as crispy as possible, or like the fat off your ribeye or whatever, you can chop that up really small and make that crispy or something. I don't know. I'd do something like that.
Yeah. Also,
and until they get other forms, like, I mean, I'm not for pork rinds and sour cream all the time, but there's other ways to get fat in there just to help, you know what I mean? Bring some fat in from, be careful with dairy, but there's a lot of good fat in dairy.
There is a lot of good fat in dairy. I would be careful and wary of dairy. Dairy
That's what I'm saying. Be very careful. That's what I'm saying. You have to be careful of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. because fat for meat, like, is just, I know some people get tough with it. So again, it's just one of those things that if you give it some time and like Dave said, crisp it up really good. Bacon. I mean, if they like bacon, bacon's a good way to get fat, or like Ollie was saying, the pork belly, you know, there's lots of, it doesn't always have to be like so much fat off the steak. I think there are other ways.
Also, by the way, brisket, I don't know what it's called in Japan, but brisket, you can get that. And people like to cook it for like 9 zillion hours, but I make it in my Instapot in like an hour. So brisket's like really hard to eat because it's like, how to explain it? Like, it's very tough, but you make delicious brisket in an hour, and that's going to have a lot of fat in it, but you don't feel like you're eating the fat, if that makes sense. Like, it's just kind of there. And if you get it right away, you'll have like a fatty soup that you could just do like a swig of, and you'll get a good, I just feel energized if I feel like doing that. Because it's kind of been like, it's pressurized. I don't know. It turned the fat into soup, and you still have this fatty meat. So there you go. 1 hour brisket.
Instant pot. I use it a lot. I use an Instant Pot for a lot of stuff, like even chuck steak and everything. If I'm not doing the sous vide and I kind of forget what I'm cooking for the day, and definitely a good way.
Oh, can we do, okay, we've got so many comments here, we got to catch up, but I need a sous vide question, because I just got a sous vide, and I cooked first brisket, and then we did pork chops the next day, and then we did chicken, and chicken was the worst. I hate chicken, by the way. It's like the thing of bigger version.
I'm down with the chicken hate. I'm down with the chicken.
Yeah.
We need to start a movement.
I think you got to take your little carnivore decoder ring and just chuck it if you're eating chicken.
I mean, some people can eat chicken. I just think it tastes so bad these days. But the brisket was delicious, and the pork belly was like nothing, and pork chops, nothing like I've ever tasted before in my life. But we're concerned that I'm doing it wrong and we're going to get E. coli. So do you need to actually seal the bag completely, or just have it submerged? That's my question.
Just submerged. If the top is open and it's submerged, that's fine.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, good. Yeah.
And
it has to be cooked above 170 if you're going to do it all night, I think, to not grow bacteria.
132. 132?
Oh, okay. That's like pasteurization.
In Fahrenheit. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
So, because like I do 131 or 132, like I'll do chuck roast for 24 to 30 hours at 132 degrees.
That's crazy.
And it comes out like a prime rib. It's really good.
Oh my goodness.
You know, then finish it however you want to finish it, with a torch or in a pan or on the grill. And if you do like your brisket, you can do it like, I've got to play more with brisket, but like about 145 degrees for like 24 hours or something like that. I think what people are doing.
Okay. Well, I did it for like, so we did it for like 12. So I can do, like I said, I can do brisket for 1 hour in the Instapot, and it's like basically dissolved. But we did like 15 hours brisket, and it was still tough. So then we tossed it in the Instapot for 10 minutes, and it was perfect.
You got it. Like, to me, 24 to 30 hours is kind of where like the tough meats start to get good.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
So it's a long cook. That's why I was joking about like, if I mess up and don't get something in the sous vide, I'll just throw it in the Instant Pot. Cause like it's ready. Like the chuck steaks, you know, the thin little cut ones.
Yeah.
Like I'll do those for about 7 to 10 minutes in the Instant Pot, and that's it.
That's awesome.
Because they're so thin and they come out really good. Here's a question for you, Alia. Like when you're doing your stuff, you know, like the Instant Pots have the slow release, you know, like the natural pressure release.
Yeah.
I found if I let them go too long, it dries the meat out more. So like I tend to only do like 15 or 30 minutes. Have you played with that much yet?
No.
Like, you know, after it stops cooking.
Oh, after it stops cooking, it seems to be like,
like after it stops cooking, you know how it takes like 15 to 30 minutes to kind of, you know, before you can turn the lid or you can press the little button.
Oh, really? Because I just
have you ever let it?
No, I like 1 second after, I'm like, oh, I'm releasing the button, and then the steam's going everywhere.
Okay. Try to let it sit. Just be curious. Try to let it sit for like 20 minutes next time you do something, and see what happens with it.
Okay, good. I will. All right, let's catch up on these comments.
Because that sometimes good.
I'll check it out. maybe I'll do an Instant Pot soft boiled egg and see what happens. 1 minute in the Instant Pot. I think it'll explode. There you go. All right.
I actually do hard boiled eggs in the Instant Pot. When I ate eggs, I actually do them in the Instant Pot. I used to. I'd make 18 at a time.
Like in the shell? Or you just like open them in?
Yeah, like in the shell. I'd put them in the shell and put it in there, and the water. You'll have to look it up, but I can't remember what it was. But before I found out I was allergic to them, because I was already itchy all the time anyway in my first year.
There you go.
But yeah, you can make, and it's nice because you can literally make like 18 or 20 at a time, and then just have them in the fridge ready to go.
That's great. I love that. I'll have to try that. All right. Ketogenic Susan says, I have never been on the count the macros train. Me neither. Not against those who do it, but I don't want to have to track macros for the rest of my life. Just eat till I'm full. Very good. Sounds about right.
Yeah. I don't like having to track things either. I'm just like, cook it up and that's good for me. Yeah,
exactly. I do pork belly nuggets in my air fryer. Awesome.
Ooh.
That's wonderful. Lee at Kent Carnivore has eaten raw meat. Oh, I love Lee. I'll have to find that video. All right. Charger Mopar. Have any of you gotten bad diarrhea from trying to eat fruit? I ate 5 bananas yesterday for lunch and had awful diarrhea this morning. I tried a banana recently, like maybe in January, and I did not get diarrhea, but I had a stomach ache. I will say every time I go to the States, I get welcomed with diarrhea like the first days I'm there.
That's funny. The opposite of people going down there, you know.
I think the thing is,
welcome to New York. Here's the public toilets.
I don't think here's my idea. I've lived in South America for so long now that like maybe my gut bacteria has like gotten used to the food here. Does that make sense? And so my theory is it's not just going to Mexico or South America. It's just going to a different location. Your stomach has to adjust. So my sister, for months, I wanted to eat sauerkraut and I didn't want to make it and I can't find it here. So I bought some sauerkraut. I think I need the probiotics because it was not like I wanted to go eat a cabbage. And then I had diarrhea for several days with like a couple bites of sauerkraut. So maybe it's just changing what your stomach is used to. I don't know. But those are my
you remember I used to live in Central America. So when I lived in Central America, it took me a while. Yeah. When I lived in Honduras, it took me a while to kind of get used to, you know, that.
Sure.
And then I did.
Yeah, I think it takes a little while. My friend years ago in Mexico, she told me it's like every 3 months she's going to have a stomach issue. And I don't know if that's like specific to Mexico, but I had stomach issues for many years until I started eating carnivorously. And then my stomach issues went away. So I used to blame it on living in Colombia, but I think it was just the food. Just food in general. Okay. What's this say? Marcos. Okay. I do get about 65 to 80% fat started February 1st. Awesome. Keep going.
Awesome.
Keep going.
That's perfect. Sounds like you got it, you know.
Beth. Yep. Things change. I've gone completely off ground beef and shrimp. Yep. You're what you want to eat changes for sure. Chicken of the trees. What's chicken of the trees? Iguanas. A better life mindset. I have a rough time jumping into full carnivore. I eat corn tortilla shells with my ground beef or steak. I eat sweet potatoes. I just can't seem to go full in. I get too light feeling and off. Okay. I understand. I wonder if there's something else less carby that those things could be switched for while you're transitioning over. I want to stay right here for all the carnivore purists. Like, do the best you can and get closer and closer to zero carb, and we're all here for you. Like,
yeah, I think
try
the best thing to say here is, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. You know? Just do the best you can. As Alia said, just do the best you can, and you know, as you can, you know, as you feel like, oh, I'm getting more into this, you know, cut out the sweet potatoes or lessen the sweet potatoes or something until,
Yeah, I would ditch the corn tortilla shells first.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
the progress over perfection.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
For sure.
Like I can't give up coffee. I just don't want to, you know, and I know you guys have. Dave, are you back on coffee or are you done?
I've got a confession to make.
Oh, what?
This is the first time I talked about it. I have been drinking it again for about the last 2 weeks. I was getting to the point where I couldn't get over the tiredness when because I've been drinking coffee for so long and so much coffee, giving it up did make me feel good, but it was also making me like just randomly like I had narcolepsy or something. You know, I just so, I didn't enjoy the narcolepsy very much. So I've just started drinking it again.
Oh, okay. Oh man. Yeah.
So,
No.
I think on the
coffee.
going full in, sorry about my crackly audio. On the full in, the corn tortillas, sweet potatoes, like Alia said, cut out maybe one thing like tortillas, just do the sweet potatoes. Then 2 weeks, cut the sweet potatoes you have in half, you know, the amount you're having, and just transition over like whatever it takes you, 4 weeks or 6 weeks, but just cut it back each time. Get it down to one thing, like just the sweet potatoes, and cut it back. That's my suggestion to try to get you into it.
Great advice.
You can do it.
Because I just did a video called The Worst Thing About Carnivore, and that is like going cold turkey and just feeling totally terrible for like a little while you have to get over it. Of course, that's what I did. And it was like the first 3 months I actually think I had that special virus, so I couldn't really tell the difference. When I started carnivore, I had like a cough that wouldn't go away, and I can't think that has anything to do with not eating carbohydrates anymore. But anyways, go cold turkey and face the consequences. But if that's what's right for you, do it. Or if not, like get rid of one thing at a time and make your life a little bit easier. But yeah, I would maybe do pork rinds instead of tortilla shells. There you go.
That's why I was saying chaffles. Look into making chaffles with eggs and ground up pork rinds, because that gives you that sensation that you're eating, you know, bready kind of things.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
Because it might be a bit of mental. It might be a bit of a mental, like you're not used to just the texture and the density of meat.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Dave, you ruined canned tuna for ketogenic Susan.
Sorry, Susan.
Jay says, hi. Hello.
Hey.
Marnie Mac, tuna often called chicken of the sea. Yes. Bacon isn't raw.
Iguana is chicken of the tree.
Chicken of the tree. Bacon isn't raw, is it? It is. Yeah, it's cured. Yeah, it's cured. So there you go. I think we answered this. Any suggestions to be able to finally get in? I think we answered that. If you have more questions, please let us know. Josephine says, howdy, beautiful people. Hello.
Hey.
Yay, Scott's here. Hi, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
Hoosier's here. Hey, Brett. So Brett was so awesome when I was in the States, and he picked me up in his Tesla, and we went to a meetup together up in northern Wisconsin, and it was cold. It was very cold. And then he made steaks for us. It was awesome.
Nice.
Never drove in a Tesla for so long before. I felt very special.
What is it like being in a Tesla? Is it like super quiet?
Yeah, it's really quiet. Yeah, it's really quiet. And like there's butt warmers, and you know, it was just very nice.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
I don't think I used the butt warmer, but it exists. No, it warms up the whole chair.
But butt warmer does sound pretty good, right?
Yeah. Ketogenic Susan, I cut the fat off the ribeye when it's big chunk and fried on the side so it's crispy. But I don't overcook the steak. Good.
Nice.
Aw, thanks, Scott. So I hear the cool kids are smashing the like button. Yay. Yes, please. Please smash the like.
Cheers.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, there you go. My road trip buddy. It was like, so he drove like to get to me like 5 hours. I just happened to be in a town that was en route to where the meetup was. And then it was like 3 hours, I think, or maybe 2 hours from where I was. So he drove like round trip 14, 15, 18 hours, something like that. Let us know, Brett.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But it was fun. It was worth it. It's really nice to meet people in person and not just have these little boxes on a computer screen.
Yeah.
I want to buy a big brisket, but too scared to mess it up with throw away 100 down the drain. Okay, here's what. Go to Costco. I got a huge brisket for like $40, and yeah, I screwed up the first and second part of it, but the third part was in the sous vide, so that was okay. But $40 is better than 100, and it was at least, I don't know, several pounds. It was huge. It was huge at Costco. So I don't know where you are, Susan. I don't know if you have Costco's near you.
Yeah, if you're like whatever, $3.69 a pound. So per pound, it's not bad. So if you got one, you can kind of see how people trim it, but I don't like trimming off too much fat. Just cut like a 2-pound chunk and practice with a 2-pound chunk. And if it doesn't turn out, adjust and then use the next 2-pound chunk. Worst case scenario, you can do it in the oven, and it actually comes out pretty good in the oven. So I wouldn't worry about I wouldn't do the whole thing at once. I'd just cut off like a 2-pound chunk, and that's what I do when I get them. Sometimes I know how to do the whole thing, but when I'm trying new things like the sous vide, like I just cut off chunks and practice with chunks.
Right. Also, like I said, 1 hour and 15 minutes in the Instapot. About an hour and a half later, you have brisket, and it's not just, it won't be messed up. It'll be delicious. Okay, let's see. Scooby-Doo, good evening. Good evening. Thank you.
Hey, how you doing?
Because there's carbohydrates, as Amanda, and dairy, I don't think I should be having it. Yeah, last time I had a seizure because of my epilepsy was after I had coffee with cream. Okay, yeah, dairy. Everybody's a little bit different. So sorry to hear that. Let's see. Hoosier's gonna try to smoke some brisket this week and let us know how that goes. We have a lot of comments here, but I have another question I need to ask the panel and our chat. So let's get on to the next question. Most unusual side effect of the carnivore diet. What is the most unusual side effect of the carnivore diet? Everyone? And I think I spelled unusual wrong. So most unusual. Okay, I'll go first. Most unusual side effect. I had a C-section scar that wouldn't heal for 5 years. And 3 years into eating 3 months into eating carnivorously, it randomly healed. I'm not going to get into the gross details of what an unhealed wound looks like or smells like or itches like, but that was kind of crazy for me. I don't know what it was that did that, but I don't know if it was getting rid of the junk food or eating more meat. I'm not sure. But if anyone has some insight, let me know. So let us know the most unusual side effect. What about you, Dave?
For me, I think most unusual that comes to mind is probably my hands were covered with warts. Yeah.
Wow.
Like I had them all over my hands. I've still got a scar on my thumb where one that was so big got cut out when I was in Hong Kong, and they all just disappeared.
Wow.
Like they're gone, just nothing. And it was one of those things that I just didn't notice. And then suddenly I'm like, oh, it's not there anymore.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I would have, but I don't think I've ever heard you say anything that you had warts all over your hands before.
Well, it was one of those things I didn't really notice. I mentioned that video about a month ago, but it was just one of those things that you kind of go, oh, that's gone now. Okay.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What about you, Chad? Your most unusual?
I would say one, allergies. I never thought they'd be gone because I've had them my whole life, even when, I was younger doing stuff. But I would say the other thing like the warts would be skin tags went away. Like I had a whole, I was getting pretty bad. And I guess that's a pre-diabetic or, a thing. And it's not like I really, like you, Dave, there's so many of those, they're what? You know what I mean? You don't really notice when they're going away. It's just like one day you're like, wait a second, I will tell you though, I had a wart one time and I took a pair of wire cutters and I put it right at the base of my skin and just went and snipped it. And then I took a pair of needle nose. I didn't realize how deep they go. And then I took a pair of needle nose pliers and like pulled it all out with a pair of needle nose pliers.
You're the best.
I'm pretty hardcore when it comes to that.
And
kind of, and it hurt. It really hurt, but I did it. And it went away.
And it never came back?
No, it never came back. Because they were like, because when they freeze it and do stuff, it can take like months. And I'm like, I'll just cut it off. And, they were like, don't do that. And of course, I'm just like, yeah, right, whatever,
Yeah.
Oh, no.
The freezing never worked for me.
That was
I
an
remember
experience.
so many treatments of that, and that stuff never worked.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm kind of an odd guy. Like I had a root canal and a crown done, and I hate Novocaine because I don't like any kind of drugs ever, and I even hate Novocaine.
So
and I did it one
yourself
time without Novocaine. No, I should have. But I had him do it without any anesthetic. And I don't think I'll go through that again. That was pretty
crazy.
It was really intense, but I did it. And the doctor was just like, you sure about this? And I'm like, yeah.
Oh.
I kind of joke because I know if I got tortured, I could hold out for a while. That's my way of looking at it.
Maybe you're secretly James Bond.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know I have a pretty high pain threshold, though. I have like an extreme pain threshold. So.
Oh my God. Oh wow.
Tell us where the secrets are, Mr. Bond, or we're going to remove all the warts from your hands with pliers.
Yeah.
Look, Scooby the dog. This is very interesting. Plus, U.S. has so much crap allowed. I have a friend who lives in Europe. Most of the time, gets sick when she comes here. Yeah. That's what I think. I think the food quality in general is very difficult in the U.S. Very bad in the U.S. And I could see why it's hard to do a carnivore diet there. You have so much, you have your McDonald's, your Starbucks, your everything on any corner you go to, just like so much junk is accessible. And here it's not the same for sure. So there you go. It's not an excuse, but
just Costco, Sam's Club, supermarkets.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Bob.
Exactly. That's what you got to stick to.
Hi, Bob. I am just putting up comments
hello.
and I'm reading them. What's the best way to cook lamb for the first time? I have no idea. Chad, that's you.
I would say it depends on what kind of lamb. I don't like the leg of lamb. I got to do shoulder. I don't like leg of lamb as much as the little T-bone chops. I just grill it. And for the leg of lamb sous vide, or it's like a 2-hour cook. I think it was like about 2 hours in the oven. It's kind of a little bit longer cook, but not as long as chuck roast.
There you go.
But if you can, just get the little T-bone looking chops. I think those are the best flavor over the leg.
Nice.
I like lamb though. I'm loving lamb.
Yeah.
I eat it now about 90% of the time.
Oh wow.
I'm rarely eating. I had a steak today. Last 5 days were lamb, and then I did have a chuck roast that I sous vide, then another 5 or 6 days. So I'm eating about 5 or 6 days a week now of lamb, and then only about 1 or 2 of steak, and then on to 5 days of lamb.
Nice. Here's a question. I get constipated. It's going on all the time. I tried different things. What to do? Dave.
Fat. Eat more fat.
Right.
Fat. That'll make it come out. If you eat enough fat, you'll get to the point where you've got to run. So,
yeah. I need to interject.
Then pull back a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I eat too much cheese, I will get very constipated. That's actually the only time I get constipated is if I eat cheese in abundance. So if you're eating cheese, I would cut back on the cheese or take out the cheese and eat more fat. I don't know if you're eating cheese. It's just more fat. People need to understand.
Point and just say, ditto those two people, exactly what I would say. Are you eating cheese? Cut it out. If not, eat more fat till it slides out nice and easy.
Eat pork belly. Oh man. Let's see. Okay, Scott.
Or bananas.
Or bananas. Don't eat bananas.
Yeah.
They'll make you constipated.
Just a call back to Rick's banana comment before.
Oh yeah, or bananas. Did any of you battle with artificial sweeteners? I dumped my former saccharin addiction this week. It's tough. Sometimes I have stevia. If coffee doesn't bad, I'll have stevia, but I can live without it. Maybe switch over to stevia for a little while and then taper that down. Man, people are gonna hate me for my advice. You gotta be careful with stevia because it has maltodextrin in it. So you would look for something with like erythritol, which won't do anything to your blood sugars. But if you're experiencing like withdrawal, maybe replace it with something else and then taper that down. There you go. Next, who would like to answer this next? Now that I gave very bad advice.
I'll take it on really quickly.
Okay.
Again, sorry about the scratchy audio.
No worries.
Some of the flavored drinks that have nothing in them but a flavoring might be one way to kind of go half battle and drop those down. I did some testing with those a while back, just the Costco variety that are flavored, absolutely no sweeteners, nothing. But one thing that it did is those kind of flavored drinks or artificial sweetened, they're usually going to be flavored, I bet, Scott, throw me off because they make you want to snack or make you want to eat food when you're not hungry.
Oh, interesting.
So in my opinion, at least from my testing on my body, is I even quit drinking the flavored no sweetener seltzer water things, and I just drink straight Italian sparkling water. And just the plain Italian sparkling water gives me that fizz I like, and it just kind of breaks up. And because it's fizzy, it just kind of has a different, flavor flavor for the day. But I would say try that, but try to cut them and see if your, I guess, satiety signals or your, ghrelin response of saying like, oh, I'm hungry now after I have one for some reason, and I'm not hungry, but it makes me want to eat.
There you go.
Bad news.
Bad news. Dave, what about you? What do you say to this?
What they said. I can't get the fingers right. What they said. It's all mirror reversed. I'm watching myself on screen.
It's that pointing thing that messes you up. I know. Yeah. I got to think it was this. Okay, that's Alia and that's Dave.
Really? Because that's
Dave.
No, I don't know.
On mine it is.
I'm pointing away from Alia now when I'm pointing to Alia on the screen. Ah! Okay, that's Alia now. And
just to confuse everybody. Here we go. Carnivore Coder. I added back some Greek yogurt made from ultra processed filtered whole milk, so it's lower sugar. I have half a cup or so in the evening, about 3 to 4 grams of carbs, admittedly sugar. Okay. You do you. How do you feel? Does it make you feel bad? Does it make you feel good? Is it harming what you're trying to handle or helping? That's the question.
Yeah, I kind of think if you're doing okay with it, if it's not causing you any issues, then, if it's just part of your daily routine, just whatever you need to do. It's only if you... No, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Dr. Baker, I've heard him mention that he has yogurt once in a while, for what he's doing. If you want to have a justification, well, Dr. Baker does it sometimes. I wouldn't worry about it.
No, I wouldn't worry about it. It's just see how you feel. See how you feel.
I do always say to everybody, go 3 months clean, meat, salt, water only. One point in your life, go completely clean and then add those back in, and then you'll really know what's bugging you.
Right. This is true.
Mm. Yeah.
So I'll read this and then I'm going to say something funny that's totally against carnivore. I'll do the cut back on shells, then start cutting sweet potatoes. Thanks, y'all. Been cutting back everything at this point for nearly 6 months. No pork though. Bad experience first time. Yeah, pork can do that. It can make you feel pretty bad. It could. So when I was in Chicago, it was my dad's. I always have to calculate this. I'm 40. My dad's 67th birthday, and my dad's like, "Can you want to share at least this cake with us?" And I said, "Okay, I'll try it." Oh my God, I was higher than a kite, like super sugar high, and then it just sits in your stomach. It was death by chocolate. Death by chocolate. He loves chocolate, but that's what happens. Like when you eat clean, you're going to feel immediately the things that you haven't been eating. And so,
yeah,
that's why, by the way, my name is Alia, and that's what my channel says, because I can't be backed into a corner where I'm 100% perfect all the time. I eat how I eat. I've changed my life eating this way. I've changed it for the better, but 67th birthday, I haven't seen my dad in a couple years. All right, let's celebrate with this chocolate cake. Oh no, so bad.
I think to go off what you said, Ollie, about like what you do. Like I always say I have 2 bites of my kid's birthday cake, you know, when they have it, and I can almost feel that tingle. I think some of these people that get too hardcore don't have any grace, and it's like even if you do try something. Yeah, like I'm really strict. I think you guys know that. I'm pretty darn strict. Like my treat might be some cream once in a while or something, but who cares? It's like that progress over perfection. And I think there's a lot of people that talk on the internet that aren't really as clean as they say they are too, that brag to be clean. Don't you guys think that? I think we're pretty honest about like, oh yeah, like Dave, like, oh yeah, you know, oh, my coffee again, but like, oh, you know what I mean? Who cares? Or like your bite of cake. I think there's a lot of people that try to make it more hardcore than they are for, I don't know why. So I think too, you'll sense that with people's personalities.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think
these people that get hung up, because I've had comments like, oh, this isn't very carnivore. And it's like, you know, that's fine if some other people have a bite of cake. Like, again, you know, I've heard Dr. Baker say, oh yeah, you know, I had this thing, or you've heard, you know, Ken Berry will have other stuff that his wife's making, keto kind of stuff.
Sure.
You know, the fact is we're doing it, and we've been doing it for a long time, and you've had a lifetime of bad eating. And if something does happen, you might learn, you might get a really bad gut ache or reaction and not do it next time. Like Alia might not have that for the next birthday or the next birthday and the next birthday, but maybe that one, like in the 70th, she'll go, okay. And then she'll go, oh, I remember why now I didn't have that. That's just the reality.
Sure. So what were you going to say, Dave?
I agree. I don't like the dogma. I mean, we shouldn't be dogmatic because we're not vegans. But the thing for me is it becomes laughable. You know, like I'll do an interview with someone who's been carnivore 10 years, and I might put, you know, carnivore 10 years on the thumbnail or something like that, and then someone will undoubtedly comment, yeah, but she said she ate a cucumber sandwich at year 5, so she's not a 10-year carnivore. And it's like, come on.
Okay, you know? Let's clear up a definition here. I'm Googling it right now just to clear this up. Let's see.
I get some of those too. I actually got one that was pretty bad that I didn't post because it was just not even worth, you know, otherwise I leave them up. But when they're, you know what I mean, like stupidly rude, weird, you know, calling people names, there's, you know.
Okay, let's call a spade a spade. A hyper carnivore diet is someone that eats more than 70% of their diet is meat.
Yeah.
More than 70%. I eat way more than that. And I think most of us do. You probably eat like 100%. So you're like an ultra super harp. So my point is, I think we just want to help people to get away from the ultra processed junk foods, right?
Ultra super duper carnivore.
But also just if you're doing carnivore and it is kind of just meat based and you're not doing something, the word hyper carnivore works, or just say, yeah, I'm doing some kind of keto carnivore or ketovore. To me, the only reason that honesty kind of works with people is because if somebody's watching somebody and they're saying, well, this person was eating carnivore and they're having these problems, but you don't realize that person that was, quote, eating the carnivore was eating a ton of dairy that technically, and Ali will back me up on this, I know with the dairy, you got to be really careful with it.
Right, right.
And if they're eating a ton of dairy and that's technically carnivore, it might not be optimum, or you're like you're super carnivore. You know what I mean? It's not that optimum carnivore. And if they are having other things that might be just off it, like a bunch of seasonings, like I can't do seasonings because of allergies. Dr. Chafee doesn't do seasonings. You know, those other people. So you can say, well, okay, well, there's two people that don't, but other people do seasonings just fine. Like,
Sure.
What's the doctor's name out of New Jersey? The one blonde lady who's been doing it like 10 plus years.
Dr. Wiedemann?
The eye doctor. I can't.
Dr. Elisa
Wiedemann. Yeah. Like she's awesome, you know, and she's been doing it and she likes some seasonings. And I know she's kind of went clean for a while. She's getting, you know, but again, it's this dogmatic thing. You got to get away from that.
Right.
It is too much.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. My friend came down pregnant. That's funny. It's like an illness. I came down pregnant 2 weeks after.
Oh, wow. That's an effect I've never had. That's what that would be.
I don't envy how she's doing transitioning now. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe she'll just want to eat bacon. I have no idea. Being pregnant's not the easiest thing in the world. That's where all of my really bad eating habits started, actually, like terrible eating habits, because I went from like a chain smoker and not overweight to getting pregnant and not smoking and eating.
So, thinking about pregnancy, right? And that's something that I haven't been afflicted with either. But so not yet anyway, but apparently in 2024 it's getting to the point where that's going to be possible.
Yeah, 2025.
Yeah. So so you get like morning sickness and you get cravings and all that kind of thing. Like the cravings, is that not just like the same as, someone who's overeating? It's your body actually seeking out nutrition.
I think so.
The fact that we're going to the plants more commonly than the meat, that's why they get the cravings so strongly when we're pregnant. It's like if we were eating meat, maybe that would reduce the cravings. I don't know.
Sure. So
as I said, no experience in this area, but just speculating.
As you're saying this,
Kelly Hogan.
Yeah.
Kelly Hogan would be one to ask about that, because she's had her kids while she was carnivore, and she's been at it like 15 years and had kids. You know, if I know she's mentioned, I've heard a couple of things, but I didn't really focus on it because it didn't relate to me, but about her cravings of what she might have had or not. That would be an interesting person to
because I for sure wasn't carnivore when I was pregnant. I do remember I wanted to eat hamburgers.
Well, hurry up and get pregnant again so we can find out if you're going to.
I'm 40. I'll be 41 this year. I have 2 beautiful children.
It's a test. It'll make a good video.
You talk about it once in a while, and then we're like, nope, not happening.
Yeah.
We got a cat. Okay, we got a cat 2 weeks ago. We added to our family.
Oh, what's the cat's name?
Amorcita, meaning like little lovely one, and I call her Pobrecita, like little poor child. Like she's like a little kitten getting tortured by 2 children. I want to say, when I was pregnant, French fries, hamburgers, wanted to eat that all the time. Wasn't really craving it, but the weird craving was frozen mangoes. And I was just like eating them, and ice. I wanted frozen mangoes and ice. And so these cravings can be really weird, because the second that kid was out, I tried a frozen mango. I'm like, this is terrible. So cravings are very strange when you're pregnant. I was
pickles and ice cream is not a dramatization.
What's that?
No, pickles and ice cream is not a dramatization. That's
no, I think it's real. It's like real. Like I was eating bags of frozen fruit daily. No wonder I gained so much weight. And just eating ice. I had to constantly eat ice. So that's a different thing called pica, which you like want to eat like the wall. you like craving like stuff off the wall. And I was very close to it. Like if you've heard of that, like women craving like plaster.
I've heard of that. I actually have.
It looks delicious.
It does look delicious. Okay, next, let's see. Get rid of the pantry first, except the salt. I guess that's advice. Maybe that's a conversation people are having. Let me see.
I'm going to throw something tacky in there. When I saw that, I almost said, get rid of panties first. I thought after the pregnant thing, I was like, what? The way my mind read it.
Oh, no. Oh my God, we have so many comments. I'm trying to catch up. Let's see. Because I'm just trying to see like who's having conversations with each other. What brand sous vide do you all recommend? The cheap one for $50 on Amazon with free shipping. It's called VP Cock.
I have the one white stick one that's I think Breville owns it now. It was another company. I had one and it died, and they could never get a hold of them on the warranty. They just kept not returning the calls, and I tried for like 3 months. And so whatever the little thin, skinny white one is that works just off the app, I would never get because I had such a bad experience. And I have an Annova, I think it's called Annova, ANNOVA unit, and I've had it for years, and I use mine a lot, like probably 4 days a week, and never had a problem. And the nice thing is you don't need the app. There's little buttons on the top. I have like some videos on it too, like of, you know, what I do. So you don't have to use the phone, because I don't like devices where you have to use your app. So that's my recommendation, is the Annova.
Annova. There you go. And do you see anything, Dave?
And they're not $50.
No.
I like the $50 free shipping.
They're like, yeah.
Dave, you should try.
Yeah, I've got no recommendations unless it looks like a frying pan. I don't know. Yeah.
So I scrolled down. We've gotten to unusual things Carnivore did to people, and Lori says lifelong eczema gone. That's beautiful.
Oh, nice.
I love that. Carnivore coder. My unusual side effect is being able to smell everything in the grocery store and be able to since about age 10. Wow, that's very interesting.
Oh, wow.
Ketogenic Susan, boils. I no longer have boils. Oh, wow. Those suckers took chunks of my flesh. Ew. Yeah, I understand. Sounds unfun. Let me see. I've had nothing positive yet. Maybe we can help Scooby the dog. Unwanted weight gain, fat on my arse I've never had before, trying to decrease the amount I'm eating. So this happened as a result of eating this way. Any advice?
I would just be, I would just keep going. No, go ahead.
I was going to say first, we don't know what you're eating.
Right.
Like again, I'm eating carnivore. I'm eating a ton of pork rinds and sour cream, and I'm making carnivore pizza every night. That might be a problem. So I would say more information on, you know, what's your height, weight, what do you want to get to? And do you have any other conditions, like really bad conditions that you've had? You know, maybe you've had a bad liver, thyroid, something. So, you know what I mean? Sometimes more information, but I would say that. What are you eating? Height, weight, what do you want to get to? That would help.
Yeah,
because you definitely don't want to be doing a lot of dairy, and you definitely want to try to get as clean as you can right away to do it. And that recommended 1 gram of protein to ideal body weight. So let's just say you want to get to 150 pounds, and this is not in metric, so I'm sorry, you'll have to convert it. Kind of half metric, half not, because like 150 pounds, but if you're like 1 gram of protein to 1 gram of fat, that automatically puts you kind of in that category. I think 1 gram of protein has 8 calories, and I think fat's 11 calories in a gram. So it kind of puts you in that 60-70% ratio right away. And that's just a starting point. That's never like a set in stone. It's like you do that and see how you feel. And if you're having, you know, constipation, we already know that, you add more fat. And if you're having too loose of stools, cut back on the fat a little bit and balance it out. And try to avoid dairy.
Try to avoid dairy. It's so good and so bad.
It is so good.
Let's see. I got another one here. Someone else's eczema disappeared. My settings. Let's see. Jeep Australia. Is this like a tourism company, a tourism person? Do you Jeep people across Australia?
Maybe.
I'm dreaming way more virtually every night now. Does that mean like more vividly?
Virtually almost every night now.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Remote dreaming or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like, are you AI dreaming?
Chat GPT dreams.
Oh my God. Look what happens when you can't read correctly. You have a wrong definition. Okay. I had what looked like a hunchback. It was like a fat pad on the back of my neck where the neck and back meet. That's gone. And it would go down sometimes, but never went away. Now gone. Great. That's nice.
Oh, awesome.
Good,
Awesome.
unusual success. I'm going, guys. I'm just gonna pop up this one. When I worked in molecular biology lab, we used to burn skin things off with liquid nitrogen. I missed that. I guess that would have been easier for your warts, Chad.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a question.
Not as fun.
Oh, that's the question for him. Okay. Let's see. When there's like so many comments, it's like a different thing to try to keep up. Brooke, I cooked lamb last night and just seasoned with salt and pepper with a sprig of rosemary. I seared on all sides before baking. That sounds good. Oh, we got a question. Losing lots of hair still after 6 months on carnivore. Thank you. I don't have an answer to that. Do you two have any enlightening information?
Due to my existing lack of hair.
Okay. Let me answer. Let me try to answer.
Dave's wearing a hat. I've got shaved head. It's generally not enough protein. That's what I keep hearing, you know, from people that talk about that. There's a few good videos on it, but it's generally you're not getting enough flat out protein in there. That's what I've heard.
Okay. Yeah. I think that I was in a ladies group I'm in. They mentioned if you don't eat enough, because sometimes when you are on carnivore, you feel full all the time. You don't eat enough. And maybe that relates to the lack of protein. You got to make sure you can eat enough.
So that's going to be the most common thing you're going to hear is the protein amount. You need to up it. People undereat on this diet way more than they overeat.
Right.
And the funny thing is if you undereat, you actually don't lose as much weight either.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually lost more overeating than I did undereating.
That's so crazy. I think because
it's weird. It just fries the mind.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's the exact opposite. But I think because like I talked to Robert Kiltz and your body wants to have the fat. It's like a survival mechanism. So like if you have extra fat, it's going to be harder. It's easier to gain weight than it is to lose weight. And like if there's a famine, like I've got more fat on my body than Dave, I'm more likely to survive longer.
Not if we have to resort to eating each other.
At least we know where we're getting food because she'll be a good fatty cut of meat if we turn into zombies.
But
the carnivore zombies go after those kind of people.
Yeah, exactly. But to your point, I think that you have to eat enough fat and then your body might be willing to exchange some of that old fatty tissue when you're getting enough fat. Like I'm still stalled. I've been stalled for a long time. And I realized I stopped eating certain foods that I did at the beginning. I stopped eating breakfast. So I've recently started eating breakfast again. Like I started doing all the things that was successful when I was losing weight. Cause I was like, oh, I should fast. Oh, I should do this. So you always have to test and see what works best for you and don't change it. But yeah, I think sometimes I'm out with my husband and we have like a lot of meat and I'm like, oh my God, my body doesn't feel frantic anymore. So I fall into that category also where I think I'm eating enough and I'm not. So interesting. Anyways, let's see here. I'm trying to. There we go. Someone says, I like the same animal base with a few extras from time to time. Carnivorous dude. There you go. Yeah,
No,
I think we
yeah.
just need to drop the labels. I like your name of your channel, No Carb Life. There you go. You're striving in your life to not eat carbohydrates. And then we lost the labels. Let's see here. Any other questions? I'm sure there's questions. And there you go. Here's a question. I have never seen a carnivore rule book. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Exactly.
All right. News and info. Question. You mean we can't dogmatically try things by switching food in and out of our diet to see how our body reacts? Is that like a...
No, when we were talking about being dogmatic, we were saying like, being dogmatic as in, well, if you're not eating just meat, then you're not a carnivore kind of thing. That kind of
yeah,
dogma.
exactly.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think one thing about testing foods that you used to maybe like, if you did test them and you realize you don't like them, it also takes away any doubt you had, like, oh, I'm always craving, I miss my sweet potatoes, I miss this, I really miss those potatoes. And then you try them and you have a bad reaction, and then you try them maybe again in 6 months and have a bad reaction. You don't ever go, oh, I really miss those things. Now you're like, oh, wow, yeah, I can't believe how bad they were. So I think sometimes it's actually okay to try things in a very small amount, because it truly takes away any doubt that you like them anymore. And if you do like them, then you know that, okay, I could like this, so I've got to stay away, and you have more power to stay away. At least that's how my mind sometimes works. It really gives you that strength to know. I did all that in the first year of keto. I'm glad I did keto for a year, because I was allowed to eat stupid keto stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Do you know of a non-prescription CGM? Does anyone know what that means?
They're continuous glucose monitor. They're going to be OTC, which means over the counter.
Okay.
They're going to be like OTC. I've heard that they're going to start taking away the prescription thing, at least in the US. I don't know about other places. I forgot who was talking about it, but I think you're going to start seeing them that way.
That's the one that's like connected to your arm, like full time or for...
Yeah, it's like looks like a little Dixie cup, and then you pop in this little pad that has a little sensor in there, then you read it off the phone.
Oh. Yeah. My uncle showed me.
The fact that I had like a meter from the keto days, like if I get up in the morning and do it, and then I go on like my 3-mile hike and come back, it's like the glucose is so radically different. To me, it just, if you want to track it, I think it's interesting and it's fun, but I also think it's, it's just fun. I never got useful information off it.
Sure.
But if you're looking for useful information and you know what you're looking for because you're trying to figure out when you try things, I think that the continuous would be the best way. But I'm just throwing that 2 cents in there that nobody asked for.
Thank you. So we're already at like an hour and 3 minutes. I just want to check on everybody's time. How many more minutes should we go forth?
I'm okay until...
I'm fine with whatever.
I'm okay for another 30 minutes, and then I've got to jump off for an interview.
Okay, good. We got 30 more minutes to answer your questions.
And I am sorry if my microphone's still crackly. I'll have it fixed.
Oh, it is.
Tonight.
It is. It's full on static.
I've had such a bad, though. If you guys know how my father passed away here, you know what I mean? And the whole situation with that is just destroyed me mentally. I'm so sick of, I'll go on a little rant. I'm so sick of the medical system and what they did to him, going through this stuff. Because he was like on blood thinners. He was 92 and a half, but he was on blood thinners, and they wanted to put him on a liquid diet to do a biopsy. So they put him on a liquid diet. Then they realized, oh, he's on blood thinners. We can't do the biopsy. What idiots.
Right.
And the doctor was literally afraid to do it. So they pulled him off, got a doctor who was comfortable enough to do it. So they put him back on it again and did something wrong with it again. Then they had to go back, and he was in the hospital. I mean, it's just, and seeing what the billing was and all the procedures on a 92-and-a-half-year-old guy who they might have some thoughts that he would have prostate cancer, which is a very slow moving cancer. I think physicians should have came in and said, look, prostate's really slow moving. you're just showing blood signs now, so it might have it, but you've got to ask yourself, at 92.5, do you want to try to tackle the treatments? Because the treatment they do now with this injection my neighbor is going through,
Yeah.
and it takes away all your testosterone 100%. That's the idea, is to drop your testosterone to nothing to try to stop it.
Oh, wow.
And yet they're still feeding you Jello. You know what I mean? They're feeding you
Yeah.
Jello and all this garbage stuff in the hospitals with cancer. Then they want to do this stuff. And it's just, I'll tell you what, it really opened my eyes
Sure.
to all this stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, it's an insanity right now.
I understand.
Now my mic's not working, which is a small little thing really in the battle of life.
I understand. It can all stack up and feel overwhelming.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it happens, but it's just, it's interesting though, how we all, I think all of our eyes have been opened,
Right.
It really I think all of us who are carnivores start going, we have been lied to about what is healthy.
Right.
What else have we been lied to?
Sure. Sure.
And it's like, I know, Dave, with your, I still love your jumping off the stairs video, with your stroke that you had when you were younger and being able to move. Because did they ever tell you, yeah, this is pretty much terminal, you're just going to be stuck with this and you're never going to get better? Did they ever kind of tell you that, or did you just expect that, or did they ever cover that?
No, they didn't say anything really. Yeah, they didn't really say anything. They just, did the operation. And
so they never even, that was it. So they never said, well, hey, maybe look into some diet changes or anything either.
No, nothing at all.
They just, see, don't you think that's just,
I mean, I think it's pretty bad now, but back then when I was 17, I didn't really think about it.
And you didn't realize until you went carnivore really that you could get better. Yeah, that's but right. Even didn't you? You just figured that's your life. You just figured that's my life and this is how I am. And then when you found carnivore, that's what healed you so radically from that.
Yeah, I thought I was destined to just be that guy that in every situation where I was trying to look confident, I would walk out in front of a lot of people and trip over. It's like it's just that was my comedy show life kind of thing.
Yeah.
I found a question, not to roll over Chad.
No, let's roll it over. No, that's rolling. I don't mind. Roll right over me. I'm good
Okay.
with it. I was just,
Yeah, I understand.
you guys know me. I just kind of bounce from one thing to another. That's what it's about.
Yeah. Is it okay to pour the rendered fat over ribeye after cook it? The answer is unanimously yes.
Yeah, I
Unless
would
you're
second
me,
that unanimous.
then I can't eat it.
Oh.
I can't do that, or it just rips through me. But I have no gallbladder, so I'm in a unique position, maybe.
Sure.
And with the no gallbladder, TMI. Yeah. But yeah, no, just don't do it. That's it's like you duck walk really quickly, like, oh my gosh, I got to go hit the head.
Oh man.
Yeah, I've duck walked many times out of a room.
Me too. What is this? What is strength for magnesium and kelp for iodine? I do not know. Does somebody know that?
I have no idea.
What is the strength for magnesium and kelp for iodine? Yeah, I don't really quite understand it. I don't really know. I would say Dr. Bright knows a lot about iodine and stuff. I've heard her talk quite a bit about it. Yeah. So that I don't know. Because I'm not sure what is the strength for magnesium and kelp. It would, I guess, be totally dependent on how much you took. But I know in the Asias, like where they do eat a lot more seaweed and stuff, they don't have iodine deficiency. So I would say probably whatever's in like a normal amount that people would be eating with whatever they eat. I'm sure it's not much.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Someone has a super chat. There's a $5 super chat, and I'm trying to click on it, but let's see here. There you go. Mary has a $5 super chat.
Nice.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Thank you.
She said something earlier, so now I need to find it. Here it is. Smoked some brats wrapped in bacon and realized the brat has a gram of sugar, but I did not plan to report that to the carnivore police. Good for you. Oh man, brats are so good.
In Australia, if you said brats, you'd be talking about your kids probably.
So I think brats. I was a big brat as a child, but there's also brats, which is very I don't know if it's very yummy.
Here's again, like everybody has their thing. That Laura Spath, who's been doing this for I know about 1 year longer than me. So she's been doing carnivore, I think 6 years, still gets the brats from Costco and they have 1 gram of sugar. And she's like, I don't care. It's 1 gram of sugar.
Right.
I like them and I enjoy them and my kids like them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Wow. Charlene says a couple of years ago, my ex-doctor prescribed me 5 different meds to start at once. Whoa. I tried one and got brain zaps and threw them all in the garbage. Wow. Yeah, exactly.
He probably wanted to go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
You know, all the drug guys are always on the boats out there. And I always used to talk to all the reps, the drug reps, that would go around to hospitals.
Yeah.
And they would be like, oh yeah, we all the time, I'd ask them because I was curious, not that I was carnivore back then. I was just curious. And they would always be like, oh yeah, we can if they do so much, we'll give them tickets to here or there and they get free vacations and they get free stuff for, bonuses and stuff.
You guys need to watch Pain Hustlers on Netflix. Very interesting movie.
Oh,
it's about drug reps. It was very good. Me and my husband watched it last week.
That's a cool name.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
Pain Hustlers. Yeah, it's really good. It's very eye-opening. It's like what Chad's talking about. Drew says, I have no gallbladder since 2001 and don't have the waddling issues with too much fat. Well, that's good. Wow.
See,
nice.
I've only had mine out for 5 years, so I'm thinking that I have hope that maybe it'll get that pseudo gallbladder you hear about. Maybe it'll get better. And I can eat a lot of fat if it's on a steak and it's not totally rendered. It's when I do the rendered that does it. It's like if I took a chuck steak and cooked it, in the Instant Pot, Alia, how, the fat really renders out.
Yeah, totally.
And I used to kind of put that in a cup and just drink it back out because I used to really like it. Yeah. And that's when I started finding out it wasn't really working. But if I take that same thing and sous vide it where the fat doesn't go away at, a lower temperature and do it, I have no issues. So it's strictly the rendered fat that rips through me, which is strange.
Yeah. I think that's why I think just test and see what works for you. Scooby the dog. I don't have a gallbladder either. Still struggle with diarrhea. Cheese really helps me. And actually all my weight gain happened off cheese. Interesting. That's the same exact point. You got to see what works for you and how your body's going to respond.
Yeah.
I'll mention one thing with that. I eat some cheese and I eat just Italian Parmesan because it's Italian Parmesan has to be made with raw dairy and it's from A2 cows. And it's the only cheese that doesn't really bug me is Parmesan. And I eat about 2 to 3 ounces with my meat. And I have no issues with how much. I still don't do the rendered fat, but I have no issues with how much fat I intake. And if I don't do the cheese, I got to be careful because I can go over the line. So that's interesting that we share that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I will say my wife did and have plenty of issues when hers came out into that. Do you think that's maybe that's talking amongst each other? Okay. Ribeye steak, 80-20 grass-fed ground beef finger, dino ribs. What is a beef finger? Beef neck bones, beef shank. I didn't realize beefs had fingers.
I don't know. Beefy. I think beef finger are dino ribs. It might be a nickname for the dino ribs, like the big long beef ribs.
Maybe.
That's what I think. Maybe. Kind of like the old Fred Flintstone commercial ribs that tip over the car.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so yes.
But you can get some of those beef ribs that are really big, long kind of thing.
Sounds so good right now.
All
right. So
I did that one time at that business Costco. They have commercial Costco here where you can buy commercial cut meats. I can buy whole lamb there or whole chunks and stuff. And I did love beef ribs. And so I bought this case and you can't see what's in it. And I got it. It was literally like 3-foot long beef ribs that I then had to figure out how to cut myself.
Wow.
It was like literally the whole huge curved rib of a cow.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. It's hard to cook. So this is the last question I'm going to ask, and I'm putting it in the chat. And it says, this is the question from Bing AI. Do you think plants have feelings and that's why you avoid eating them?
Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think they have feelings, and I think we should be avoiding eating them because they just don't want to be eaten, and we have to, they're sentient beings. These vegans are just killing these cucumbers left, right, and center. It's just not fair.
I do like a pickle.
You can hear them scream sometimes when you cook them too.
I don't know how to answer this question.
I was going to say carnivores don't care about your plant feelings, but
do plants have feelings and that's why you avoid eating them? Yeah, I think they have very negative feelings against my gut. I like plants. I like salad. I love salads. I can't digest them. It goes in and it comes into the toilet. Like my salad arrives to the
I've never liked plants really.
No?
The only thing I ever liked is taro product stuff and some sweet potato or potatoes, but I've never liked any veggies or any salads or any green leafy. When I tried doing the going green thing, as I call it, when I tried plant-based eating for 6 months, way before carnivore, because I tried everything and I tried plant-based for 6 months and it was the worst thing ever. And it's like, can't stand them. So I've been lucky that I've always been before I joke that I was a pastatarian, that I just basically ate pasta. So.
Oh my God. I had a friend who was a vegetarian.
Supposedly plants have feelings.
I think they do. It's living. There was living before it was cut down for food. No.
But then sorry, go ahead.
My vegetarian friend, she never ate vegetables. She only ate carbs. So I called her a carbitarian.
How do you do that? What would she eat?
I mean, okay, we were in our 20s and she said one day
pastas?
She ate pasta. I think she ate like Cheez-Its, Nutter Butter bars. And she was super athletic in school. So she didn't look like in her 20s she was at all overweight. But I don't know what happened now. We haven't been in touch in a while, but I can't imagine continuing to eat that way.
Did she understand that cheese comes from cows? Did she understand that part? That's what I think.
She would eat cheese. It was like her protein source was cheese because she was vegetarian. Okay, anyways, nothing with eyeballs is what she said. Okay, we got to get through the next questions here really fast because we only got 10 minutes left. Thoughts about salt? Yes.
Yes. Good.
Yes, love it.
Lots of it. Don't stop.
Don't stop. All right. Who likes oxtails? I think I would like them. There you go.
I've had them a couple of times and I can take them or leave them. I'll leave them because I like other cuts better.
There you go.
I haven't, but probably would like it.
Can you hear them screaming?
I think the plants. Can't you hear them screaming? I think we're talking about the plants. Yeah.
I think that's what they sound like in the boiling water.
There is research, though. You guys heard about that in the last few months. There's been research that plants actually do have feelings.
I could believe it. I could believe it. Some sort. Oh, one hope for all. I believe plants do have feelings, but that's not why I don't eat them. Exactly. What about the poor Pop-Tarts?
Right. Would someone think of the Pop-Tarts?
So
when I lived on a little remote island, one thing about Pop-Tarts really quickly, this is when I ate junk. I was like, I'm craving Pop-Tarts. And I went to go get some Pop-Tarts and ants had gotten in and eaten out all the filling. So I had these Pop-Tarts and I broke it open and all the filling was gone, but there was all these like ants in there.
There you go.
That will make you never want to eat Pop-Tarts again. Right there.
This is true. Carbitarian. I mean, I used to be a carbitarian with a side of meat. Would you like some meat with your carbohydrates?
Yeah.
Can you read Oaktown Girl? The only plants I ever liked were really high carb ones. Yeah, like potatoes. When carnivores say they cheated with vegetable, I'm like, I don't think you cheat with a vegetable. I think you cheat with a death by chocolate cake.
Yeah, cheating with the vegetable to me is like a carrot cake or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's a conversation inside the chat. Okay.
I still don't like the word cheat. You're just having a treat, and a treat on carnivore is just sabotage. It's kind of like one and the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're not cheating anybody. It's like playing solitaire and so I'm going to cheat at my own game of solitaire. You're not cheating anybody. You're just cheating yourself, which is just sabotage. So it's kind of like it doesn't work.
Sure.
That's how I view it, at least.
Or like, do you guys know Bronson? Coach Bronson. Anyways, I was talking to him.
Yeah.
And he says, and
he
I
seems like a good guy.
Oh, he's super cool. You guys should talk to him.
Yeah.
He says you don't fall off the wagon, you're driving the wagon. You can't fall off of it.
That's a good analogy. That's so true.
Yeah. True.
So there you go. So how do we want to end this lovely live stream? What do we want to talk about? Oh, here, this will be the last question. This is going to end our live stream. Do you dream about vegetables?
Do you dream about vegetables?
No.
I only dream about vegetables dressed up as meat.
Yeah.
Pantomime vegetables.
I don't think I ever dream about food. Oh, man. My vegetables. Okay.
I think of the Veggie Tales. My kids used to watch a show called Veggie Tales all the time.
Exactly. I know that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read this out loud.
Anyone who doesn't, you can Google it.
Okay, I can't say anymore. Oh, chat, you've been great. You've been fantastic comic relief. I love this. Thank you so much. I'm happy to say that since finding carnivore, I've never been tempted to cheat. I've had rare cravings, but never close to acting them. Food freedom is such a blessing. And that's the best thing to end this beautiful live stream on. Thank you, Oaktown Girl. That is the truth. There you go. There you go. All right. Anyone want to do a shout out?
Thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Just thanks.
Really,
the old infamous Ahuliho.
Ahuliho. I'm gonna say that hasta luego, muchas gracias. That means see you later. Thanks a lot.
Sayonara.
Sayonara. Oh yeah, Egypt. Yeah. Look, we're all like white people that speak a different language.
Well, that's our own things. Yeah. Well, Ahuliho means till we meet again. So that's exactly what I was saying too. What you were, Alia.
Oh yeah, hasta luego, Ahuliho.
We're gonna put Dave's Japanese to the test and have him learn till we see you later in Japanese.
Maybe ittekimasu.
Yeah. Ciao.
See you.